Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Peace. Peace to the family. I'm your brother in the struggle, Brother Minister Ali. And today, we're going to build in a cipher on those that seek to steal Messenger Elijah Muhammad's program. Now, family, you have to understand, Master Fard Muhammad came to the wilderness of North America and taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad the knowledge of himself. And he in turn taught that knowledge to various individuals such as Malcolm X, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, Muhammad Ali, Jeremiah Shabazz, Father of Law, on and on and on and on and on. Now, in this modern day and time, because we're in an age of so much social media, there's really, it's more money to be made in the social media world than it is teaching the original divine and direct teachers of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So that puts certain people in a dilemma. They're really student followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, but they scared to let you know that. They really came into power because of their belief in the law of God who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. But they set up idol gods. The idol gods were the money of the white man, the credit cards, so forth and so on. Unfortunately, some of our people think that they are smarter than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They think they have a better program. And the messenger, his thing was like, if you mess with the black man, if you got a better program, present it. Now, I mean, but truth be told, no one has a better program than Messenger Elijah Muhammad, in my humble opinion. Now, I mean, but when they get the money from the devil's world, they lose their soul. And this is why the scriptures teaches us, what does it profit a person if they gain the whole world but lose their soul? Now, I mean, and the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, I mean, so, we can't trade in our people's future for the devil's dying dollar. The Messenger in the Fall of America wrote a chapter called The Decline of the Dollar. Now, I mean, and it's difficult for our people to get out of that Lazarus mentality. In the Bible teaches that Lazarus was at the rich man's gate, now I mean, begging. Now, I mean, he wanted the white man to give us this, that, and the other. And it's sad because when I hear our people talking like that, I wonder if they're aware that the devil is really the devil. I'm going to just give you a hypothetical. Hypothetically speaking, let's say this is November. Say the devil gave black people in America reparations as they asking for some land, some money, education, and things of that nature there. Do you realize the devils will take that mask off for New Year's and start killing our people wholesale on sight? The envy and jealousy of the devil would not let him give you what they have. That's real naive of us. Now, if you are talking about real freedom, real justice, real equality, you don't ask your oppressor for that. You're going to have to take it. And that seems not to even be on the agenda. What seems to be on the agenda is we want a farm, a check, a college degree, everything that's about integration. Like, it's a whole world out there. What about, like Malcolm X taught us about segregation and separation? I mean, what about independence? What about taking and leaving the United States of America? What about transforming the United States of America into the United States of the law? We're not even on that wavelength. It's sad. You know what I mean? And it's like a nation with over $20 trillion in debt is not giving black folks no darn reparations. They ain't give it to us yet. They ain't give it to us 500 years, put it like that. They're not going to give it to you this year. Now, you can calculate this. They're not going to give it to you next year. They're not going to give it to you in 10 years. They're not going to give it to you in 20 years. All right, I'm going to stop right there. They're not going to give it to you because this, most of us, inshallah, the king should still be alive. So you're going to see they're not going to give it to you in 20 years. Know what I mean? Anything we got in this nation, we had to fight and die for. We took it. Know what I mean? And it hurts me to my heart that our leadership thinks that they have a better program than the one given to us by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. This is what the messenger had to say about that. I'm coming from his last book, Al Sayers Arrived, 1974. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad explained to us, but what does this do to the rest of the people? It causes them to become jealous and envious of that one whom God confers more of his divine knowledge upon than he does the rest. This is what is happening right at this very hour. The Holy Quran plainly teaches us that every one of us wanted the same thing that he gave the messenger. That is the knowledge of the book and the wisdom of God and the Quran. It is prophesied that the lost found black man would envy the knowledge that God would bestow upon his servant to teach them the knowledge of that which before they knew not. This is the American so-called Negro. The Bible teaches that they all wanted to be shepherds, therefore the sheep went astray. What a jealous and envious people the black people are. This is why we can be divided so easily against each other. It is because the devil soon see that none wants to follow the other. Look how they are reaching out at what I am teaching, placing it on their coat lapels and in their books and mixing it up with their own corrupted ideas just to be called leaders. Our people in the wilderness of North America, the Bible prophesies, is a stiff-necked and extraordinarily rebellious people. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad explained to us and how to live let me turn to this real briefly. He said, leave my teachings as it is. We have to humble ourselves to the program of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, because in that humility, we will excel as a people, as a collective, because the solution to our problem is divine. The messenger warned the Black Panther Party back in the 60s. He said, if you think you can beat America with a few brickbats, a few homemade bombs, a few handguns, you are as wrong as the distances from the east to the west. The solution to our people's problem is divine. I know that's hard for a lot of people to really grasp because, it's a lot of money in marches and rallies and, those type of things. But this is what the Lamb told us. Let me share something with y'all from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. His mythology, if you will. He told us, and this is in The Fall of America, 1973, page number 12, 1973, The Fall of America. The messenger said this: a law. He's not talking about a mystery guy. He's talking about a law in the person of Master Father Muhammad. A law sufficient for all our needs. This is why I do not have to beg from the oppressor or march on their capital. With my hat in my head, with my hat in my hand, for how can I, on one hand, preach the doom of the oppressor, the oppressive system, and then with the other hand, ask alms of the oppressor? Allah is our God. We are his blessed. He has given all the world to us, if we would but first give our all to him. I met with Allah as Moses met with Jehovah. Allah has revealed the truth unto me. It is up to you to believe it or let it alone. But this does not negate the fact that I know the end of it all. I know tomorrow. I would be happy to tell it to you if you will believe it. I want you to know that our oppressors are exerting every effort to prevent you and me from uniting. They do not want a united so-called Negro. We didn't realize that until it accidentally leaked out about the counterintelligence program. And there we found that J. Edgar Hoover all along was manipulating black leaders all over the United States of America. You know what I mean? They was offering out people like they did during slavery. In slavery, the message teaches us they would offer the house slave a piece of fried chicken and a biscuit with a little butter on it to get them to go against their own people. And sad to say, Malcolm X, I mean, he broke it down. He basically explained how it wasn't a march on Washington, it was a farce on Washington. And he explained how, if you look at the reality of it, the people was uniting, and the people, the grassroots people, was making it happen. They was moving out without the leadership. And they was going to lay down on the tarmacs and in the airports and trains and shut this thing down. And President Kennedy and them panicked, you know what I mean? And they called in, you know, they made big black leaders, you know what I mean? Dr. Martin Luther King and all of them, you know what I mean? Those that wanted to integrate, those that wanted better jobs, decent, more money. They basically wanted a slice of the American pie. They didn't want freedom, justice, and equality. Like, that's real strange. It's like the oppressor kidnapping our people, putting us on a slave ship, and then generations later saying, okay, y'all free now. And we make some money in this country and we go home, but we go home as a vacation. We go back to Africa, but we come back to America. What the heck is going on in this country? Now, I mean, what is it that we're so fascinated with this America system? It's like we really don't want to leave our oppressors. Many of us. Now, I mean, not all. Some of us do. Some of us have. I mean, but most of our people really don't think that they could live in a black world, in a divine government of peace. Now, I mean, and I would like to share something with you from The Fall of America. Again, this time, page number 15. The message explained about, he says the same thing in Message of the Black Man Base. This thing is, you can't be scared of the devil. You know what I mean? It's like that time is up. It seems like, you know what I mean, we have a lot to lose, but all we have really to lose is our chains, especially the chains around our brains. The message teaches this message ain't for the cowards. You know what I mean? This is what he told us. He said, page number 14 and 15, in fact, he said, it is natural to us Even more, our oppressors cannot follow the very religion he would teach us. I have no alternative but to tell you that there is no life beyond the grave. There is no justice in the sweet by and by. Immortality is now here. We are the blessed of God. We must exert every means to protect ourselves. The message I bring is not for the cowards. Those of you who follow me must be ready to withstand the barbs and insults of those who come to investigate, pry, and claim that our ultimate aim is to undermine the American way of life. We have no such intentions. Our critics know it. There's nothing under the rug or subversive about what I say and teach. It is shouted over the air, in the newspapers, on the street corners. Why then should you be intimidated by those who seek only to throw fear in your hearts and know what we say is right? We can't, if you give black, one of the things, I'm just speaking from a legal perspective, if you will. I mean, I studied law for like 30 years. I mean, in the so-called amendments of the U.S. Constitution, the 14th Amendment, they basically, I remember President, who was it? Bush and President Clinton, they both wanted to say something to basically give some lip service. They was trying to play politics, be diplomatic, be politically correct. They wanted to say something about reparations and black folks and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things our people need to understand is these former slave masters structured their amendments. They structured the Constitution like this, basically. Because they had a civil war and they killed people, the North killed people, white people in the South. They invaded their homes, ate their food, took their products, took their property, land, whatever. You know what I mean? And they did the same thing to Native American Indians. And of course, they did the worst to black folks. So what they basically explained was like this: listen, all these leaders, all these politicians, white politicians, black, whatever, anybody that even talks about reparations should not even be recognized. So in order to get reparations legally, I'm speaking like from a political, social construct type of way, the first thing you would have to do is get these devils to change their constitution. That's number one. I don't believe that's going to work. What is really going to take, honestly, I can't even say, because I don't think we're ready for that yet. Now, we honestly just are not on that vibration yet. Now, we're too comfortable. We're making too much money. See, one of the things white folks look at us be like, what is y'all talking about? Y'all know how much money black people in America got? Why won't y'all give yourselves reparations? Now, we got all these entertainers and athletes and actors and billionaires. They like, imagine this for a moment. Imagine, I'm going to take a small, because I'm from Philadelphia. Imagine if Will Smith, Kevin Hart, Meek Mills, Eve, Bill Cosby. Imagine if they took and pooled their resources, education, and qualifications for independence in the city of Philadelphia alone. Just these couple of people. Imagine them building safe havens, building their own, as the messenger put in 12-point program, building their own homes, schools, hospitals, and factories, buying their own land like the Amish. Now, keep in mind, there's people in this country without reparation. They've been doing it for 500 years. The Amish, like, we buy land, we build our schools, all that long drawn. They like, man, we build a school in a weekend. I mean, they be like, we build houses in 48 hours because we work in unity. Now, I mean, they are a nonprofit. I used to work with a Supreme Angel, and we used to do night mark, you know what I mean? Thousands and thousands of people down there and all that. And I asked the girl, I was like, man, somehow y'all got this structure. I'm trying to understand how this. She said, oh, this is ran by the Amish. I was like, the Amish? She said, like, yeah, the Amish run this. This is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. Now, I mean, and basically, they're not, when I researched and studied their nonprofit, what they basically is saying, that mission statement basically says they're bringing wholesome food to the urban areas or the inner cities and stuff like that. Now, we building the stages and all this other stuff. Now, I mean, I see the vendors. They got the pineapples with the rum all in it. They got pork, you name it. It wasn't no wholesome anything, but they was getting money. I was like, I ain't going to hate the player. You got to hate the game. Know what I mean? So our people think that Messenger Elijah Muhammad's mythology won't work, but it will. But it won't work if we turn it into an organized religion as opposed to a divine government. Let me turn to another quick page for real quick. The Messenger, page 50, I'm not sure, let me check, around 54, 55. Yeah, 54. Now, J. Edgar Hoover, he feared the rise of a black messiah or a black leader that could unify people. They don't like unity. And Yaqub taught the devils to come into our homes through social media and gossip. Now, I mean, and get us fighting and arguing and killing each other. And then they come in as the peacemaker and they continue to rule both sides. Now, the short version is this. The messenger teaches us this. The devil was given 6,000 years to rule. His time ended in 1914. Theology of time, he break all that down. I'm not even going to go into it. This is well known. 1914, devil's time was up. The messenger said he was given 60 years of grace. 1914 plus 60 years of grace, 1974. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, last Savior's Day. He said that 60 years of grace is not to exceed 70 years. That's 1984. What is the end of 1984? December the 31st, 1984 is the end. January the 1st, 1985, the devil's time was completely up, even an extension. Know what I mean? And a lot of us, we thought we had our degree. We thought we had our diploma. Let me share something the Lance shared with us about this diploma in 1972 in the theology. This is the theology of time, 1972. The messenger put it like this here about these diplomas. This was on August the 6th, 1972. No, it's not. This on, I want to give you when he said it. Pardon me, let me backtrack for a moment here. Okay, here it goes. It was July 30th, 1972. All right. Now, this is what he explained to us about these diplomas. He said, "My beloved brothers and sisters, you are beautiful. Soon after this war regarding the going out of the world, as the Bible says, we don't know yet what we will be like, but we know that we will be like him." Talking about God. Why? Because he must make us like him in order to prove his civilization that he makes. If we don't look like him, then he can deny making us, and we could deny being made by him. We will be made like him. He told me all about that. That's a great long lecture in itself of what you will look like in the hereafter. He has given me that knowledge and how you will be changed in that way. I have all of that in my little old big head here. You as a child must know your alphabets first. I'm looking for help. This is the messenger. The messenger said he's looking for help. He said, I'm looking for help. I'm looking for the black scientist that knows something about how to build and how to tear down. He needs that. He needs a builder and destroyer. All right. He says, I'm looking for help. I'm looking for the black scientist that knows something about how to build and how to tear down. I want both a wrecker and a builder. I will teach you how. As you see, I'm my own ruler. Those that follow me, talking about the FOINMGT in particular, those that follow me are coming along fine. They soon can go for themselves. Some of them, not all of us, but some of them are already going for themselves. This is what I want to do. I want you to be yourself and rule yourself. Don't jump out before you get your diploma. Don't jump out before you get your diploma. At least you come running back to me. See, the messenger explained to us, he said, I know you. I mean, you a lot of our people, if they didn't think of something first, I mean, they get jealous. I mean, they I don't mess with that dude. You know what I mean? And they run out with their own program. And the messenger said, then they stub that toe. Then they grab that toe, come hopping right back to the messenger. You know what I mean? And we got to start all over again because he wanted to use his self-styled wisdom and play with Islam. The messenger warned us. He said, playing with Islam is like playing with fire. See, you may not believe or even understand these teachings, but these teachings are divine. Master Fard Muhammad is not sitting on a UFO or mother plane doing some magical stuff. But there are mathematical universal laws. There are dominant and recessive thoughts that are circulating in this universe that are sparking atoms in people that are yet to come, people that are here, and people that already was here in the past to bring his will and aim to pass. So the messenger says, he says, this is what I want to do. I want you to be yourself and rule yourself. Don't jump out before you get your diploma, lest you come running back to me. Wait until I tell you that you can go for self. Don't try before you get the diploma or your degree. If you have already gotten a diploma from some part of this work or on some part of this work, now get your degree. See, when it comes to the teachers of Honorable Elijah Muhammad and teaching the teachers of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we have to know the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I mean, it's like, what is the messenger's message that'll guide our people through this age of mess? Now, I mean, let us look at this here. Because a lot of our people, they get so smart, they get dumb. And they want to argue with you because that creates likes and more of the love of money. You know what I mean? It's like everything is based on the devil's advisors. His world is structured on the devil's advertisements. When you get up in the morning, the sheets that you're on was advertised. The food you ate, the toothpaste you use. When you look in the mirror, you know what I mean? If you step on carpet, if you step on wood, it was advertised. You know what I mean? The devil's, and I'm talking about the 10%, the rich, the slave makers of the poor. I'm talking about the corporate world. The corporate world don't care if you're for or against anything because they rule both sides. If you're for abortion or against abortion, they make money on both sides. If Black Lives Matter or Black Lives Don't Matter, they make money on both sides. If you're for the death penalty or against the death penalty, they make money on both sides. If you're for independent hip hop or corporate hip hop, they make the money on both sides. Because the trick is they make you think that fiat money or the piece of paper is the money. Now, I mean, and you know, I remember years ago, a professor taught me about that. A financial guy, a black brother from Penn State, taught me about that. And we joked around in the class and we talking about, and I wrote a book about this a long time ago. I got to dig out my book. I'm going to make a video. I got this book called The Dichotomy of Capitalism and Socialism in the Nation of Islam. Wrote it like 30 years ago. You know what I mean? But what I do is I show you how they play financial technology with our people. You know what I mean? In the Nation of Islam, the messenger had it where you had, say, Guaranteed Bank, you had socialist structures, you had national, Muhammad speaks, national mosque, and you had individual, personal, private barbershops, personal, private bakeries. You own your own restaurant or whatever. So he didn't consider himself a capitalist, nor a socialist, nor a communist. Them labels that the devil make up, those are banners to make us jump up and down. I remember a black psychologist years ago, I forgot his name, I love that brother, but he basically was breaking down how our people is like a bull in the matador. He explained the matador, he has a red flag, you know what I mean? And usually they put like Vaseline on the bull's eyes. So the bull is colorblind, first of all. So he can't, the matador is dressed in black. The bull can't see the matador. He can only see the flag. He can see red though. So he'll come out with the flag and the bull come charge. The devil just knocked all the power out. We just got it back. We got a backup generator. All right, let me continue. So the matador, he has the red banner. The bull charges after the red banner. And the matador jumped to the side. The bull hit the red door. Ta-da! Then he put it over here. The bull come on that side. Ta-da! And he don't hit him again. Know what I mean? And he just keep playing with this bull, poking him, stabbing him, know what I mean? Having fun with this big giant. Because the bull doesn't understand the technology of the matador. And that's how our people are politically and socially and economically. We're chasing all these false flags. Christians, Jews, Hebrews, this minister, that minister, this book, that book, this diet, that diet, this economic system, and it's all in the matador system. It's false flags. I'm Christian, I'm Muslim, I'm Democrat, I'm going to get these, I'm going with the Republicans, I'm getting me a MAGA, and we just keep missing every time. You know what I mean? Generations go by. You know what I mean? We don't have a black woman on a penny. We don't have a black man on a nickel. At least they got some old Indians on some old coins. We don't, you know, it's like our psychological dependency on our oppressors is structured like, oh, Harriet Tubman is going to be on the, it's like, for real? That's what freedom is for our people? I mean, to be in a better house and master's house instead of building our own house? I mean, it's like, let us get over this kind of stuff. The message told us this about these arguments. I mean, chasing after all these false flags. He said in the Theology of Time, page 65, let me give you the year. Pardon me, I gotta slow down just to make sure you don't think I'm lying. You know, anything the devil tell our people, they believe it hook, line, and sinker. You know, massa just don't lie. The white man said it got to be true. All right, June 18th, 1972. The messenger said in the Theology of Time, he said, I don't have time for us to go into argument over these things because I have to get you up to the position to argue if you want. Now, I mean, it's like when it comes to the teaching of Elijah Muhammad, a lot of people just simply never took the time to study his teachings. A lot of people just never took the time to learn their lessons. A lot of people are busy. I mean, they gotta pay the bills. I mean, they on that treadmill of the devil's world. So what happens is, keep in mind, in social media is like a two-edged sword, if you will. I mean, you have brothers and sisters, because the good side is you have a level, not perfectly level, but you do have a more level playing field. I mean, you can get some information out to the people if you package it right. Now, if you package it too raw, like if I say the wrong thing, this channel's out of here, because the 10%, the corporate rule, run all this. I mean, it's like ain't no black power jumping off in the devil's world. You like, you serious? Now, I mean, he give you the impression because he wants you to keep chasing after red flags. Now, I mean, do try life insurance. Try independent label. Try to be a vegan. Try to get an electric car. Try to get green energy. I mean, try to start your own business. Everything is in his whole ideology, because he know if you go to China, he runs China. If you go to India, he runs India. If you go to Africa, he runs Africa. If you go to Haiti, he runs Haiti. The devil is the devil. The devil has deceived the whole world. The message said he's the God of America. He's the God of this evil world. So there is not going to be any peace until the removal of the beast, first of all. Even though a lot of people think it is, and a lot of people think we're going to just have some president or somebody sign an executive order and we're going to be paid and singing Kumbaya and we're going to be buying black, and man, come on. I mean, it's like the devil is the devil for real. Now, I mean, you got people that train to eliminate us. You got people that every day they wake up, they're thinking and practicing genocide. They're like, damn, okay, it ain't just genetic survival. I mean, it's like that's part of it. Now, that thing is like, see, one thing about underestimating these devils, you got to understand. This is why I always be teaching that our people are the God. They know they God. They may hide it in that Masonic shrine and stuff. They know they're gods. And it's things that in the future you're going to see that today is impossible, that they're going to show and prove it's not about that. Like they literally, like you see how they could take a Michael Jackson and turn a black man into a white man. They're going to be able to turn white people into black people. Be like, God didn't make Adam and Steve, made Adam and Eve. You know what I mean? I don't care what they say, a man can't have. In the future, men are going to be able to have babies. That's easy stuff for a scientist. You got to understand the science of that. So they're going to try to extend their reign on this planet. And they have people that are not cowards. I mean, you notice how Trump, like, I ain't lose. And people like, he's crazy to him. He's thinking like a god. He like, I didn't lose. In his mind, he did not lose. You know what that means? He did not lose in his mind. He's making a thought, a dominant thought, his reality. You may be like, man, this dude really believe in Santa Claus is this, that. It's like, if you believe it, it's real. See, the physical don't really mean anything according to this 3-pound brain of ours. Our thoughts travel 24 billion miles per second. So what you have is you have diehard people that's like, we know Trump is a liar. We know Trump crazy than the mug. They don't care. That thing is, they trying to maintain their power. They trying to maintain their money. They trying to maintain their sovereignty. They like, man, we got blacks and Hispanics. We got people coming across the borders. We got hustlers, rappers. They take it from the economy. We got $20 trillion in debt. They like, man, this thing is not going to last long like this. They know that every great nation eventually falls and crumbles from within. They understand how Greece fell apart. Ancient Rome, ancient Egypt, Babylon, Persia, Iran. Now, all these great kingdoms all over India, all over China, they don't even exist. I remember in my lifetime, the USSR, Russia was this big threat. I mean, you have people that's still alive where they went to school. They had to get under that desk and practice in case there was a nuclear explosion or atomic explosion. Now, I mean, and it's like now you got lone wolves that literally like they got high-powered assault rifles, and while they're sending the golden age of hip-hop, you had people like Erykah Badu, the goddess came out, the queen. Now I mean, she's sipping her tea, vegan, her head wrap. Now I mean, she dropping jewels. She had sisters getting conscious. She had sisters, I mean, tapping into that goddess, that feminine principle. Now I mean, you had Public Enemy and Brand Nubian and Wu-Tang and all of them. They had Poor Righteous Teachers, Lakim Shabazz, KRS-One. The music had us like, yo, we want to protect the black woman. We want to love our brothers. We don't want to kill it. I mean, we had we all in the same gang. I mean, self-destruction. Now I mean, we was like, let's stop killing each other. Let's stop the drugs. Let's stop eating garbage. Now I mean, let's pool our resources. And the devils peeped that, and he's like, you know what? We're gonna pay these jokers all the money in the world to stop that nonsense. And now the music, now I mean, be like my hitters. Now I mean, now it's like young boys, they won't think nothing about gunning each other down now. Now I mean, and see, that's something in their nature. See, before we came in slavery, we had principles. So our thing was, we would consider it an insult if you violated our principles. Now I mean, so it's like the devil is playing with that. Now I mean, he's playing, he's pushing music that he knows. If you got people constantly hearing the same thing over and over on the radio, constantly same song, negative, kill each other, drugs, sex, money, wet ass peas, you know what I mean? And they're young. I mean, that frontal lobe of that brain is not even physically developed. It's not even there yet. I mean, this is why they had to let the juveniles, lifers out of prison. They like these young people, they're risk takers. They're fearless. Now I mean, and you're taking young, intelligent, gifted brothers and sisters and saying, okay, give them $1 million. Give them 10 million. Give them 100 million. Give them $1 billion. What you think they going to do? What would I do? I would go crazy. I woke up, I was in the projects, I was in the hood yesterday, and all of a sudden, I signed a record. Now I got $10 million. I got $1 million. I got $100 million. I'm a billionaire. If you're not spiritually grounded, you're not gonna know what to do with your money. You're gonna be like, I'm a consumer. I'm gonna go get me a Maybach. I'm gonna go get me the Rolls Royce Phantom. I'm going to get me an expensive hat. I'm going to get me some ice. I'm going to get me, I'm gonna go do this, that. I'm going to trap. I'm going to get all the girls in the world. I'm going to get all the drugs, guns, everything. I'm going to look out for my hood. Not look out for my hood by developing common unity in the community. I'm going to give my homies some birds. I mean, so I'm going to help destroy the next generation. Now I mean, so the messenger, he wants us to understand that Master Fard Muhammad is fully aware of this, not in a spooky sense. Now I mean, but the mind of man is infinite. In fact, let me share something with y'all in another book about how Master Fard, do I have it down here? Yeah, I do. All right, let me share something with y'all from the Fall of America 1973 about how the mind of Master Fard Muhammad operates. The messenger explains this right here. He says, Fall of America, page 218 to 219. First phase, I was explaining to you how our geniuses, instead of waiting for things to happen, they're making things happen. They know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. You know what I mean? On another level now because of the age of information. All right. The message said, this is the time of the increase of knowledge. God has given the black man of America more light into this increase of divine knowledge than any blacks elsewhere because he has chose to make for himself a great nation out of the former slaves of America. Allah God, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, has the power, and he is using his power on the wicked to bring them to their knees. Allah God is the greatest and there is no equal to him. Allah God can take us by our own way of thinking. He can take us by our own way of thinking and spin us as though we are a play toy. We cannot fight a successful fight against him. He is too powerful. He listens in on our thinking, and he is capable of making us to think and to do that which he desires to be done. See, there are sciences that Europeans know about, the CIA experiment with. Now, I mean, one of them is mental telepathy. The messenger plainly puts it like this. It's like having a radio in your head. If you have your radio, say Steve Harvey on or whatever, you know what I mean? You turn on FM or AM. If you don't have the right frequency, you're not going to hear Steve Harvey. You can't tune in because you don't know what you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know the mathematics on how FM is frequency modulations, AM is amplitude modulations. You can't see it because you can't see the vision because you can't get the right channel. You can't get the signal. Wi-Fi not working. You got VHF and UHF, very high frequency and ultra high frequency. You basically got thick and thin thoughts that's traveling all around. Know what I mean? And we're born with a 7.5 ounce brain, 14 billion brain cells. Each brain cell or neuron generates a power equal to 170,000th of a volt of electricity. Our thoughts travel from east to west 24 billion miles per second. So when you have a determined idea, and our 24 scientists had a determined idea for over 66 trillion years. That's how them thoughts was going out in the universe for this day and time we're living in right now. Master Fard Muhammad studied not just under his father, but also his uncles, as well as in the secret vaults of Mecca, as well as getting wisdom from all over the planet Earth. Do you honestly think you have a better program than his? Do you honestly think that your brain power is going to supersede his? Do you honestly think that you're going to bring your will, aim, and purpose to pass over his? What you should be trying to do is tune in and submit our individual wills to the collective will of Allah God who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. Let me turn to this page 74 real quick about that. Leave my teachings as it is. Because this is part of the problem. We want to spook up Islam as taught by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Okay. It's like the message said, as I said earlier, you see how they reaching out for his program? I mean, in fact, I'm going to put a cartoon as the thumbnail on this. The cartoon is from the old Muhammad Speaks I got. It's basically this black man holding the shoestrings on these big giant shoes called the messenger's program, and he's saying, I'm gonna steal it for myself. Now I mean, you know, it's like everybody wanna be the guru for how to eat to live. I mean, everybody got a better economic program. Everybody got a better military program. Everybody is wiser than the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They looking at him like he's past tense, blase. Oh, that was for back then. He was just teaching superstition and trying to get blacks to believe in themselves, and he was a social reformer. That's all the nonsense his son, Imam Worthy Muhammad Wallace, was telling the people. Dawud Elijah Muhammad is the messenger of the supreme Allah, God of the entire universe, covering 230 quintillion, 640 quadrillion miles. You're going to realize that when the judgmental, when these devils take the mask off and there is no water in your sink, no electricity, no gasoline. When you see the interstate bridges are removed, you can't travel from one state to another state. When you see all your money, they push a button and that fiat money is going, like they'd be like, you're a billionaire. They could push a button, they could give you a credit card, like you're a millionaire. And they could push a button and be like, I went to the store, swiped, my card ain't working. Oh, that $1 million, they took it in one. Osama bin Laden had like $200 million. They took it in like 14 minutes. His $200 million went to zero 14 minutes. They shut it down all over the planet, pushing buttons. I mean, so you think you have a medium of exchange, but you really have fiat money. It's an illusion. It's a trick of the devil. Now, I mean, the messenger said, you know, see, we got to run the money changers out the temple like Jesus did. Now, I mean, you know, they trying to turn capitalism as the cure-all for our people's problems. Now, I mean, our people, you give our people money, that's not going to solve our problems. Now, I mean, our problems are traumatic, psychological, historical. They deeply, we need divine help for real, for real. Now, I mean, the messenger said, how to eat to live. There are many of my little black brothers who are hungry for offers and for leadership, and they commercialize on what you find me writing. They take my writings and put it into other aspects and add in and out of it and offer it up for a sell price because he does not want to do something for self. He wants to take everything that he can and commercialize on it. He is a thief and a robber under the disguise of putting out the teachings of the messenger. You know my way of putting the teachings out. If I charge for some literature, it is because I want to get back what I put into it and put the profit to work to build a nation. But you are so selfish. And this is why I do not give you any credit. Take this that I give to the people directly and do not add to it and try to make money. Allah God has already promised you money, but do not try to make money out of his word. There are people now who are trying to put some of their work, copy from my work, and with their own no good additions to it. Leave my teachings as it is. No wonder that Jesus had to run the money changers out of the synagogue. They who were turned it into a marketplace to sell their products on this and that. You are doing the same. You want to give little parties and dinners to commercialize on your place of teaching. They do not do that in their holy land. They do not take their prayer house and turn it into a market. Our people have to understand we're really hindering ourselves. I mean, it's deep. It's something how the devil's time is up. The Holy Quran warns us about usury. Now, I mean, like, it's like, yeah, we need money, but not as a cure-all. It's like the messenger told us in Message of the Black Man and in our lesson 12-point prayer. He said, build an economic system among yourselves. He said, spend your money among yourselves. Pool your resources, education, and qualifications for independence. Now, it's like we're so selfish when we get some money. We want to act like other people didn't put us on. We want to act like we got there all by ourselves, like some magical stuff. But we know we didn't. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not that a 5% poor righteous teacher is going to ask you for anything. The Holy Quran tells us, you know the poor righteous teachers because they don't beg for anything. I mean, they're not going to disrespect themselves by asking for any. Like if my homie had $1 billion, I wouldn't ask him for a penny. Because if I had $1 billion, he wouldn't have to ask me for nothing. So if I have to ask him for something, I don't even want it. I'm not going to hate, because my brother's success is my success. My sister's success is my success. But I'm not in this for money. I mean, it's like, yeah, well, I'm good. I mean, I got all kind of businesses going on. I know how to make things happen. I know how to extract from the devil. I know how to extract from the 10%, the rich, the slave makers, of the poor. I've been doing that, forever. Now, it ain't about nothing. I know how to make things happen. I answer my own prayers. Know what I mean? So it's not a thing of jealousy. It's a thing of, we could just do so much if we had the unity. Know what I mean? It's like we got so many talented, strong. Imagine look at the devil. You got Putin dropping bombs right now, doing his thing. Russia doing that thing. You got China doing that thing. You got Israel over there doing that thing. But think about it. President Putin, President Biden, Israel, China, Japan, all of Africa, Australia, India, Haiti, Jamaica, whatever. They're all united in the United Nations. They like, we don't even like each other. We at war with each other, but we don't speak the same language. We don't even believe the same religions. Some of us don't even believe in religion. Now, Saudi Arabia doing their Islamic thing, the Pope doing his Catholic thing, the Protestants doing their Christian thing. But you know what? They got the common sense to come together in the UN, in the United Nations, and operate on operational unity. Not that they trying to, like, Russia ain't trying to become America. America ain't trying to unite with China, but they understand the hustle. They understand the game. They understand world politics for real. They like, listen, we don't want Chinese dollars. We want a strong American dollar. We don't want, Arabia's like, we don't want the yen. We want a strong dinar. We want a strong Arabian dollar. Now, what I mean? And the way they think is like gods. Now, imagine the so-called African Americans, the so-called whatever. Now, imagine the Nation of Islam, Salas Muhammad, Farrakhan. Say it wasn't no division. Put it like that. Say we didn't have all these divisions. Yaku's law, divide and conquer, got us fighting, arguing, killing each other, whatever. Imagine if we had operational unity. You know what I mean? Like, no big eyes and little U's, no ego tripping. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? Whoever is good in that particular area, we let her or him or them handle that. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that I just don't know about. Let them deal with that. It's other stuff that other people know about. Like, you know what I mean? If these brothers know how to fix cars, like, oh, let them do the mechanic stuff. These brothers not a cut head. These sisters, they soldiers. I mean, these brothers is electricians. I mean, these brothers are good politicians. These brothers is good with education, whatever. I mean, but imagine if we was to pool our resources, education, and qualifications, and have operational unity. I mean, imagine our football players and athletes and our hip hop artists and actors and our talented 10th, if you will. Imagine everybody operating and working together. Imagine those that's doing wrong was to do wrong right. See what I'm saying? See, even a lot of people look at so-called organized crime, for example. Let's talk a little brief history of gangsterism. I mean, there's a black psychologist that wrote a book about organized crime. In fact, I got a couple. I got one right here, organized. Now, I mean, short version. Cecilia, the Italians, they got the red, white, and green flag. We got red, black, and green. It's the blood of the white man for that land, the blood for the black man. Originally, the Sicilians, Don, the first Don, was a pitch black man. He was a farmer, and the bankers started taking the poor people in Sicily farmland. They started foreclosing on their farms, and he organized them to fight against these 10% or 1% as they know in this day and time. But he sparked the Don thing. Now, I mean, he wasn't a gangster. He was a God star. He was right. The bad guys was the corporations, the banks. Now, I mean, the people stealing the people, the land barons. They was the bad guys, but they made the good guys look like the bad guys, and the bad guys look like the good guys. Now, I mean, and from him, Sicily did that thing, and it spread out in Italy and came over to America with the immigrations and Al Capone. But Lucky Luciano seen something that they just simply didn't see. He seen that violence was expensive. I mean, he was like, yo, we don't like each other. Cool, but we need rules to this thing. Now, I mean, it's rules to the game. It's rules in warfare. I mean, you don't just do anything in warfare. Now, I mean, I'm not promoting illegal activity or any of that, but everybody in America know crime pays, and it pays well in the United States of America. Now, I mean, but disorganized crime is what we're seeing, where Lucky Luciano and them, they was like Al Capone over here doing the St. Valentine's Day Massacre reportedly. This stuff is getting so crazy. They was like, we gotta police ourselves. I mean, if we're businessmen, if we're in this to get this paper, we can't have the Irish and the Jews with Thompson machine guns dressed up in black forest doing drive-bys. That's what they was doing. They was doing the same thing these young boys are doing right now. This is how they got money. This is how they promoted common unity in their community. But they were smart enough to realize that we got to get out of this illegal crap. And, you know, Bugsy Siegel, they like, look, let's open up these casinos, let's get the docks, let's do the unions, let's get the waterfront. Now, and they getting money now. They still get money, but that thing is like, man, we make $82 billion selling Carolina rice, Uncle Ben's rice, pancakes. I mean, they like, we make money with your phone. I mean, with your carburetor. I mean, so it's like capitalism. At the end of the day, some form of barter always comes up. But what we got to try to get rid of is the disorganized. This supposed to be safe zones. Like, real gangsters don't want somebody making a block hot. I mean, like, I know brothers from the streets or whatever. Now, I mean, they ain't with no violence and all. They like, man, we ain't trying to bust out guns. It's like, you bust your gun, it's like, yo, you going to penitentiary. Like, you know how full the penitentiary is of so-called gangsters? These devils, they like, man, all that TV stuff, snitches get stitches, I ride for my home. Man, when you go to jail, they gonna forget you. They ain't gonna look out for your baby mama, your children, you ain't get no lawyer. I mean, it's like, nah, homie. Nah, I mean, it's like real rap. It don't go down like that. I used to help people with legal work and all. It don't go like that. Nah, I mean, I seen the dudes with the photo albums of them with the nice cars and all the girls in the club, everybody, you know what I mean? They iced out and, you know what I mean? And they don't have $15 for commissary. They trying to figure out how they going to pay that cable bill next month. Like they getting idle pay. They working in the kitchen. They mopping the floor on the block. They cleaning the shower. Now, I mean, they cooking rice in the chow hall. I mean, that's the reality of how these devils set this thing up. And you be there like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. Now, I mean, it's like we gotta break that cycle. Now, I mean, we gotta give out people that consciousness. Now, I mean, not consciousness where they go follow some leader or go join some organization, but make them strong in them. Now, I mean, make them a self-believer. Now, I mean, and the best way and the most practical way we can do that is we have to give credit where credit is due. We have to stop ripping off the program of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Only the messenger's message can guide our people through this age of mess. Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods and goddesses. The struggle continues.